Hey everyone, just a quick one before the video starts. I do apologise for not putting up a video for 5 or 6 months or something like that. Had a few things happen, but everything's all good. We are back. Should be uploading weekly, so thanks for holding on in there. And let's get back to the video. Good morning everyone. So today is a pretty exciting day today. We've got a few things on. We're currently in downtown Disney, and we've got to head over to Goofy's kitchen for breakfast, and then we have a tour over at Burbank, and then we're heading over to Disney. And on top of all that, it's my birthday, so we're gonna have some pretty fun times, spend a lot of money, and yeah, make a lot of memories. This is pretty neat. After you sign in on the front desk, you get a complimentary photo with the chef himself, Goofy. And here's the photo here. Right, so we got a bit of pancake. I'm not much of a fan of waffle, but I thought, you know, because it's a Mickey waffle, gotta try it. Some bacon, some sausage, and we got me some apple juice and what I presume is chocolate ice cream. I had some of your pastry, it was very, very nice. Yeah, well, cooking, very good. Been busy? Yeah, always busy, always busy. Do you mind if we take a photo? Beautiful. And we first. I've just gone to get myself some more food, and apparently Dale's come to steal me missus. And here's server Dale. Looking good, Dale. Looking very, very good. Yeah, it's got your boat. Oh, very nice. Good one, good one. She's a lady, she's a lady. Coming. 2 for 2, very good, very good. So here at Goofy's Kitchen, it costs $50 per head, which isn't bad, seeming that you are getting a full buffet of... everyone's birthday. As I was saying, it costs $50 a head, which isn't bad, seeing that you get a full buffet breakfast, and including character meats, which honestly, character meats here are a lot better than what they are at the park, because they actually spend time with you, they walk around, you see them multiple times, you don't have to wait in a long line, you can just eat and they pop up. Hello, how are you? I'm good, I'm good, I'm good.
Sorry, guys. With the family. Thank you, guys. All right.
Take a photo. It's a sous chef Pluto. There he is. How are you, Pluto? Good. Yeah, at the back helping Goof. Yeah. Yes, it's my birthday. Yeah. I've never realised how springy your whiskers are. They are very springy. Do you mind if we take a photo with you? Beautiful. You got it.
All right, please continue clapping. My good singer, Great Connor, celebrating his birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Connor. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, Mark.
Because it's my birthday, they've come out with a cake and they've lit the candle and they sang happy birthday with me, and I got my badge. Well, that was really cool. So we got to meet all the cast that was cooking. So Chip, Dale, Minnie, Pluto, and the man himself, Goofy. I'm pretty full, which is exactly what you want, because you don't want to be spending that much money at the parks. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Characters were pretty fun. And what did you think of it?
It was really good. I liked it. Goofy was great.
Goofy was great. Goofy was great. Now we're going to head over to downtown Disney and check out what's going on over there. If you're looking to get something from the Disney parks, however you don't have a ticket for it, definitely come down to downtown Disney, because you can basically get everything here. It's basically just one big shopping centre that you don't have to buy a ticket for. You just come through security. But yeah, pretty much everything you'll find in a Disney park store is going to be here. Plus your more mainline shops. Don't come before 10 if you want to go for shops, because everything's closed unless it's a restaurant. We're here at Wonderground, and I'm really tempted to get this portrait of Walt and Mickey. But they got to ship it to you, and it takes about 3 weeks to get it to you. And I'm all the way in Australia, so it's got to cost extra more. It's going to cost more. But I don't know what the actual size looks like. Disney home. So it's all little knickknacks and stuff for your house that's Disney inspired. The sippy cups are $25. Whereas the tin ones the metal ones are $27.29. Even got things for your pets. Little Dalmatian collars from $18 all the way up to... Nope, they're all $18. Got bowls. These are pretty cool. $20. Mainstream shops, Pandora, Sephora, Implora, your Sunglass Hut, Starbucks. There's a resort. There's a park over there. There's more Disney stores down here, and then your restaurants. So it's kind of got everything. Talking about basically everything you'll find in the Disney parks, you'll find here. All the aircon. We've got toys, clothes, Spirit jerseys. Spirit jerseys are about $60 each. Pins, more cups and mugs. I didn't realise how long this place was. As I said, literally you find anything in here that's in the parks.
That's all good.
I just kicked some kid's bucket. Went to the right of the castle for no other reason, and then we found Hook, Peter and Mary just in front of the fountain. Alright, here we go now. Executive decision. We're at a photo opportunity, and there was Mickey, Minnie, and Pluto, and then they got swapped out, and then we were standing around in line for about 5 minutes, and I made the executive decision to leave the line because we just find it elsewhere. And then about 20 steps outside of the line, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy showed up. So that was a bit annoying, but now we have stopped to take a bit of a break, get some coffee, get some drink, and we're eating in front of the Columbia and also the Disney band. So not a bad view, and people watching. I love watching people.
If you had it to do over again, would you do any part of it differently?
Well, if I had it to do over again, I think, no, I don't think I would. I don't know. I hope I don't have to do it over again.
I think what would make that boat way more cool, that ship way more cooler, is if they had fake sails on it. Looks a bit bad. If you just slap some sails on that bad boy, I think you should be right. Alrighty, so after that we then headed over to Walt Disney Studios in Burbank. Here we did a tour of the studios, which was a birthday surprise for me, so it was pretty cool that Em got that for me for my birthday. You weren't allowed to do a video, or you weren't allowed to do videos because it was a live studio, so we could only do photos. So I'll quickly just go through what the tour was about and what we learned and what we were told and all that stuff. So yeah, straight off the bat, you see a massive flagpole. I thought it was just a flagpole, however it was actually the flagpole from the 1960 Winter Olympics that Walt Disney helped produce. Then across from that was the Sherman Brothers stage. Now this, unfortunately, we weren't allowed to go in there because it was, again, a live stage. So all music and sounds and all that stuff are made in that building. So hence why we couldn't go in. Then we headed to a corner, which was Pluto's Corner. It was made up of a direction pole that had Mickey's Avenue and Dopey Lane and directions to certain buildings. However, the directions on there weren't actually where those buildings were. So everyone's always told, never listen to these directions. But it was also made of a fire hydrant. That is a working fire hydrant. And that gave the name for Pluto's Corner because right next to the fire hydrant is 3 paw prints in the ground. And the story is that when the cement was drying, Pluto walked up to that fire hydrant, lifted one leg and peed on the fire hydrant. So if you could imagine 3 legs on the ground, 1 leg up in the air, that's the story of that. But then we went down to the theatre. Now the cool thing was that we actually went into the theatre. This building was, and many other buildings, was used in Saving Mr. Banks. When Walt came out after he watched Mary Poppins, he came out and then obviously was asked if he invited P.L. Travers, but that is the exact building that they used in the movie, so that was pretty cool. Then across from that building was the Art of Animation building, and made of, I think it was about 3 levels, 3 or 2 levels, I think it was 3. And the first level was all pictures and illustrations and sketches of the process of a movie. So coming from first ideas to actual sketches to the sceneries, we got to see it all original, amazing ideas. And it's quite funny that all the villains always start scary, but also some of the good people start off scary. So there's one of the genie, and he's a big green scary looking thing, but obviously in Aladdin he turns out to be a blue pleasant genie. Then we headed upstairs. We got to see all the posters of Walt's movies that he was either directing or part of. It started off from his first movie to obviously his last before he died, so we got to see everything that he was a part of, which there was some in there that I didn't expect. Obviously 20,000 Leagues. However, when you think Disney, other than Leagues, you would think cartoon. But there was actually so many that he was a part of that was just a live action movie. We got to go up one more level and we got to see photos of Walt throughout his whole life, from when he was young to, you know, obviously not his final days, but you know, towards the end. We got to see photos of Lillian, his staff, him with actors and actresses. There's one of him and Lillian holding the pole, the direction pole that's at the front that I spoke about earlier. And then there's also one that I thought was a bit of a funny fact. He's sitting down on his chair and he's kind of pointing, and you'd think he's normally pointing, but our tour guide said that the rumor about this one was that he was actually smoking. And because he didn't like anyone to know he smoked, he got the visual effects team to erase the smoke. So it just looks like he's pointing. But that's the story behind that one. So I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a fun fact if it is. Then from there, we headed into the main bit that I really wanted to see, and I was so excited to see. We got to see the offices and planning room of Walt Disney. Throughout his time and throughout this building that he was in, he had an assistant. Then I think it was either his second assistant or his assistant's assistant. I don't know. We had two people in front of us. So the first one would obviously, make sure you're comfortable and all that stuff, and make sure you are who you are. Then you'd get ushered into the next office, which his main assistant was, and she or he would make sure that you were ticked off and you came at the right time and all that stuff. But the really cool thing about this office is that I can't remember the percentage of what was authentic, but majority of the stuff was authentic in that office. So the actual phone, the actual notepad, most of the stuff was authentic. Then they also had one of the props from Saving Mr. Banks. So they had a massive trophy case, wasn't actually in that room and wasn't actually, Walt never saw this case, but it's cool that they took the prop from the movie and they put it in there. So we got to see that, which was awesome. Then you headed into, I think, the best office in the world, Walt Disney's actual office. So the cool thing about this office is that 98% of the stuff in there is exactly how it was and is authentic. So the only two things that weren't, or the 2% that wasn't, was that there was a few books and a big white couch. Everything else was photographed, stored away, brought back out, and put back exactly where it was, exactly where Walt Disney himself had it. And that is awesome. We got to see the exact layout, and it blows my mind that they thought about that. Like you would never think of, like, if you're moving house, you never take your photo of your room, then move it around and then come back and look at the photo. Like I don't know how or why they would have thought of that, but it's so cool that they did, because we got to see exactly what Walt was seeing, except for obviously the big white couch and a few books. Then from there, you got to move into the planning room where they would spread all their ideas over a small, I'd say a coffee table. I don't think he called it a coffee table, but it looked like it was the height of a coffee table. But they'd spread it out, go over the illustrations and all that, and start throwing ideas back and forth. So those are the three offices and one planning room that I really wanted to see, and I'm so glad that I got to see it. We then, from there, headed outside, and we went into the Frank Wells building. Here, we got to see, we got to look at, from the floor below, the Marvel Studios offices. We didn't get to go up there, but that's where Kevin Feige, that's where his office is. But we got to see some things from downstairs through the window. But then also, and this was one of the other cool things that I didn't even know we were going to do, we actually got to hold an Oscar that Walt Disney himself won, held, and accepted, I guess. But we got to hold it as well, and that, I'm saying that's awesome a lot, but that, there's no words to describe what we got to do, because not many people get to do it. And the fact that Walt Disney held this Oscar and we got to hold it is awesome. Obviously, thousands of people have held it before us, but still pretty cool that we got to do that. From there, we then started walking down a road, and we got to see the actual water tower. The funny story about the water tower was that the legs back then cost like thousands of dollars, not hundreds of thousands like they would now, but thousands of dollars, which was so much back then. And normal water tanks have 4 legs, but Roy Disney, the person who you would think would be the tight one with money, he said, let's just have 6. Let's just put 6 on there just to be different. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't change, the strength of the water tower, because 4's enough. He just wanted it there just to be different. So it's a bit weird that's coming from Roy instead of Walt. We headed over to the courtyard, and in this courtyard was, again, like the best thing ever. We got to see all the Disney legends. So all their handprints are all stuck up, plaqued and all stuck up on the pillars and all that stuff around the courtyard. But also, and this was the best bit about it, we got to sit down with Sharing the Magic, so the Roy and Minnie statue. Got to take a photo, which you get to do in Disney World, but I haven't been there yet. Hopefully that will be sometime in my future. So this is the first time actually being able to take a photo with and sit with Roy and Minnie. But then you also got to get up and take a photo with the partnership statue. Now you might be thinking straight off the bat, oh, but you do that in every park. That's not that special. But the one thing that's different is that you actually got to touch it. You cannot do that in any other park or any other place. This is the only place you can physically touch a life-size partnership statue. Nowhere else can you do that. So it was, again, amazing, but that's not the word. It was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It was like we actually got to touch it. And again, you can't do that. Not millions of people visit a Disney park a year. Millions and millions. But a small percentage actually gets to touch it, and that's those who go to the studio. No one else gets to touch the statue. Myself and Emily got to do it, and I'm so grateful that we got to do it. From there, we moved over to the Michael Eisner building, and this building we only got to go in the lobby, but it was still pretty cool because we got to see 2 floor-to-roof length murals of Walt and Roy. But also, a few floors above us was the CEO's office. The actual CEO of Disney was a few levels above us, and that is so cool. Not to mention that the building itself was amazing. It's got the dwarves at the front. Unnecessary, but amazing. Absolutely amazing. From there, we headed out. Emily and I got a photo, or we tried to reenact the photo of Walt and Lillian holding the pole. So we tried to do that. I'm pretty sure we epically failed, but it was still pretty cool when we got that photo now. And the last thing that we got to do was head into the merchandise shop. After every ride, there's always a merchandise shop. Blah, blah, blah. The front of the store was your generic Disney stuff that you can get anywhere. However, the back of the store was cast member exclusive. So no one else except for cast members can get this stuff unless you're on the tour. Obviously you can get it secondhand, but to get it brand new and from the hangar, no one else can do it except for cast members and the tour groups. So Emily and I bought a lot of things. We didn't even care about the price, and normally I would because I'm broke, but we spent a lot of money in there, and that brought us to the end of the tour. To say that it is one of the best things I've ever done in my life is an absolute understatement. The fact that I got to go in, I got to see where Walt thought of ideas or created this empire, created all these memories, we got to see that. The fact that we got a rare opportunity to touch the partnership statue that, as I said, is rare to do. You can't do it unless you're doing this tour or work in these studios. Amazing. If you ever get the opportunity to do this tour, do it. You have to do it. There are so many massive Disney fans that have their whole house full of Disney, love Disney for their whole life. Some of them don't even get to do it. So the fact that Em and I got to do it, we are so, you know what I mean? Like, the fact that Em got it for my birthday as well, amazing. I love, best thing ever. I'm still speechless right now, and this is 6 months after actually doing it. But yeah, amazing. Just magical, I guess. It was magical to actually do that, to see those things, to have those memories. Amazing. Anyway, that's enough babbing on. After that, we headed straight back to Disney, and we continued on my birthday. So, let's continue.
What is this, senorita? My siestas are getting shorter and shorter. Oh, look at all the people. And welcome to Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room. It's showtime! In the tiki room. If we weren't in the show, starting right away, we'd feel the ambience too. Let's all sing like the birdies sing. I think someone has left the shower running.
Be careful, me fine friends. The gods have been angered by all the celebrating.
Alrighty, so obviously, again, change of scenery. I do apologise that there was only one video of the tiki room there. I stupidly left my phone in the Uber, who drove all the way back.
I had no idea. I should put a photo of you. You know that photo I've got of you asleep in the Uber? You should put that in. Because that's the trip that you lost it.
Yeah, so I was asleep in the Uber, I dropped my phone, and then we left, went and continued our day at Disneyland. The Uber went back to Burbank, which was like an hour away. We did the tiki room, and then I realised my phone wasn't in my pocket. So that's why it's a sudden end, because we had to try and get hold of the Uber driver, which we couldn't because we didn't have an American SIM card. So I had to leave the park, buy an American SIM card. Then also my camera was completely full because we used it all basically at the studios. So yeah, that was an eventful night. But day-wise, loved it. Every single bit was amazing. The Goofy's Kitchen, even though food was kind of generic, you don't really go there for the food. You go there for meeting the characters, spending a bit of one-on-one time with them, and then obviously the photo with Goofy himself. And also, we got to see a bit of Disney that in the morning, which was awesome. Then, obviously, the Walt Disney Studios was phenomenal. What do you think?
I loved it. It was the tour, especially, was once in a lifetime, and we had an incredible guide who just embodied what it was to be a Disney cast member.
Drew's his name.
And that made it even more special. So it was a pretty awesome day. Best day of the trip.
If you ever get the opportunity to actually do the tour, do it, because you will not regret it. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.